Hi everyone. I thought it would be helpful if I did a review of the slideshow that we went over in class today talking about thesis statements. So what should I write about? You're getting ready to write your literary analysis about The Great Gatsby. And the prompt from the assignment sheet, if you go back into Google Classroom and find the Great Gatsby essay rough draft spot or the Great Gatsby final draft essay spot, both of those spots have the assignment sheet posted, and the prompt basically says to select one character from the text and follow that character's growth through the text and how that character's actions, beliefs, motivations, or whatever impact the meaning of the story. So what does that mean that you need to do? First of all, you pick a character from the motivation chart and then start with that learning or growth column. This is where you find the theme. And then after you've read through the theme and read through that column and read through the other columns about your character that you've selected, that's when you write a thesis statement about that character based on the information in the motivation chart. So what does that look like? Well, I don't know if you remember all the way back to Monday, but on Monday I shared this with you. I picked Wilson, who's not on the motivation chart, because I didn't want to do all of this work and then have everybody write papers about my row. So I chose Wilson, and he's not a character that you can choose. What does he want? Remember, I said he wanted to make a comfortable living and make his wife happy. He wants to get ahead, the traditional American dream. Wants to get out of the Valley of Ashes. Why does he want it? Because he wants to be successful. He sees those other rich people like Tom with their fancy clothes and their cars and their money, and he wants that for himself and for Myrtle. And he thinks, I think, perhaps that Wilson might believe that being successful will give his life value, right? That he'll be as good as Tom. He doesn't want to be looked down on the way Tom always looks down on him. How does he try to get it? He works really hard in his garage, trying to make a deal with Tom to buy his car so that Wilson can sell it for a profit so they can finally move. And just, really working hard and trying to play nice with Tom so that Tom will sell the car to Wilson so Wilson can finally get ahead. How does it work out for him? Well, I believe that Wilson fails to see how the people with money have all the power, options, and opportunities. He starts to pick up on that fact after his wife is killed and how the rich sort of disappear into their fancy homes and drive away without a care. And so, I have a lot of information here that I'm not going to read because you can read it in your own time. What's more important, though, is this learning and growth. Wilson learned too late the dangers of taking his wife, Myrtle, for granted. He is so consumed with getting ahead and doing whatever he has to do to get ahead that he missed the evidence of his wife's infidelity and dissatisfaction until it's too late, right? He finds that little dog collar, and that's when he confronts her. And that's after she's been having an affair with Tom for months, right? In fact, treating Wilson badly in front of Tom. And Wilson never picked up on that. And so my thought is that Wilson is so overcome by the truth that he cannot face it and chooses to end his life rather than accept his failure as a husband. So when I look at my row of information about Wilson, it kind of tells a story already. And it's from this learning or growth column where I get my sense of theme, that idea that he took her for granted and it cost him. It cost him dearly. It cost him his wife, and it cost him his life. So I'm going to start there. Theme is the universal message. Possible themes from the Great Gatsby should be related to the lessons we learn from the text. And so you start with that lessons learned or growth column in the motivation chart. And so I'm thinking about Wilson and what he learned or didn't learn. And so I came up with this theme. When people take for granted others in a relationship, they miss out on what's really happening and risk losing the one they love, right? So it's big, it's universal. You can apply it to Tom and Daisy. You can apply it to Wilson and Myrtle. You can apply it to reality TV shows. You can apply it to real life. You can apply it to any number of movies or books, right? Where an affair happens, where a relationship falls apart because people take each other for granted. That's a universal theme. So how do I take this universal theme and turn it into a thesis statement that's only one sentence long? Well, I have to make it text specific. I have to talk about the character that I'm focusing on. I need to include theme language and make sure that it's arguable. So again, thinking about Wilson, I've restated my theme here. I just copy and pasted it from one slide to this slide so you can still see it. And I've highlighted it red to make sure that it looks different. And then I crafted a thesis statement that is text and character specific with theme language and arguable, which means you can disagree with me and then I'll have to prove it to you with evidence from the text, right? So here's my thesis statement. Wilson took Myrtle for granted, and by ignoring her, he lost her love, leaving him so devastated by the reality of her infidelity that he chose to end his life rather than face the truth. Okay, so I have that theme language of taking others for granted in my thesis statement. It is text specific. I'm talking about Wilson and Myrtle, right? And then I'm making it arguable. I'm saying that he is so devastated by her infidelity that that's what pushes him to kill himself at the end. You could say something, another person reading the book could say, nah, he killed himself because he was crazy, right? Or you could say Wilson killed himself because he didn't want to go to jail for killing Gatsby. Or, you could have a whole bunch of reasons. And then I can go back into the book and find my textual evidence that helps support how he is so broken up over this, that he couldn't face the truth that he failed as a husband. Okay, and that's all stuff that I will explain in detail with textual evidence in my body paragraphs, right? Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. Thesis statement is one sentence long. It is text specific, speaking about the character, and it has theme language in it, and it's something you can prove from the book. If you have questions, you can ask them during class or shoot me an email. Good luck with your writing. See you later.